You're listening to Exploring Anime with Friends, a JMO for Real podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all major podcasting networks. I'm your host, JMO! And today's friend is my wife and co-host. How's it going today, Sarah?
Hi, everyone. It's going very well today.
Awesome. You excited for today's episode of Exploring Anime with Friends Movie Edition?
I am.
Today we'll be taking a look at Look Back, a slice-of-life film that features the creative industry made in July of 2024. First, we'll meet one of our two main characters, Fujino, and we'll take a look at her artistic journey. Next, we'll meet our other main character, Kiyomoto, and follow her artistic journey. Afterwards, we will explore the day that they come together. And finally, we'll take a look at the big break that they receive. And remember, if you like what you hear today, check us out on social media. Like, subscribe, and follow. So Look Back. There's so much I want to say about this because honestly, I feel like it really captures the creative industry in it.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a good reason for that. So fill us in a little bit of the background of the person who created it.
So the creator is Tatsuki Fujimoto, and for those of you that don't know, he also created Chainsaw Man,
which we already covered on this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, this movie is really about how real life stuff impacts the creator. How it just reflects the themes and emotions and just everything. It's all throughout the narrative of this movie. They say it's semi-autobiographical in that spot, so it's not a true story. Things that happened didn't actually happen, but the themes, the feelings, the perspective, it's all kind of true.
Yeah, and really when you're watching it, as people who have been in the creative industry before, I can really see why creative types have flocked to this film and why it's gotten nominated for so many awards during the course of this year, because it really depicts the struggle of the artist. It really depicts the struggle of the writer, the creator, and everything that they have to go through, the tireless hours, the things that you don't see behind the scenes, all the work and the effort that goes into it that really makes it something special, but at the same time might never be put into public view because because it's such a tough labor of love. And really, it sets us up right at the beginning because our main character, we're seeing her really get into, when she was in the 3rd grade, she was drawing the comic strip for the school newspaper for our elementary school. And she's really putting tireless hours into it. And it's one of those things where 4th grade year comes around and she's continuing to draw, and then eventually somebody gets to do a guest spot for the school newspaper, and she is just blown away by how much better the artwork of the guest artist is. She devotes more and more time to this, and this main character is Fujino. So talk to us a little bit about Fujino's personality, starting where the movie starts with her in the 4th grade.
I mean, honestly, and I don't mean to say this meanly, she's kind of a hermit. It's her and her drawing board, and that's really all for a little bit.
But she's popular, too.
She has friends. Yeah, well, that's because the mangas she draws kind of they're like a little bit of dark humor. It was as funny as anything when the first one appeared on the screen.
Talk about it.
All right, so basically this comic that we're seeing the first time, it's two people, they're dying, they're bleeding out, and they're sharing one kiss together, and we'll meet each other in the next life. And it's beautiful and emotional, and the next thing you see, the girl, she's all grown up, and she suddenly remembers, and she's like, oh my gosh, where is this guy? Where is my true love? And then you get a faraway view of the Earth as a meteor is coming towards it, and it's the same shape of the guy's head, and he's lips all puckered up, crashing towards the Earth. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? It was hilarious.
And honestly, we're not trying to paint this as a comedy because it's far from a comedy.
Not.
This is really about the struggles of the art industry as a whole. But there is definitely that funny moment.
Yes, that's why she was popular though, because she took these start with something and then made it something completely different. And the class loved it. 3rd graders, 4th graders, they loved what she did, and she thought she was top dog because everyone's like, your manga style is the most beautiful thing ever. And then the spotlight's given to someone else who actually is not really attending the school, you find out.
Yep.
And it goes from manga style to this beautiful backgrounds and picturesque stuff, and they're put side by side, and people are starting to comment, oh man, I thought Fujino's stuff was really good, but this person's stuff is amazing.
And at that point in time, Fujino gets obsessive. Everything becomes about the art.
Yep.
And she's driving away friends. She's sacrificed all of her free time. She's sacrificing family time as they're watching family movies. She's sacrificing her summer breaks. She's doing everything to devote her life to the art. And realizing that she, or at least in her head, believing that she is still not catching up to the other one.
Yeah.
And finally, halfway through 6th grade, she realizes that it's kind of like, I've given up so much. Like, I've given up so many ice cream trips with my friends, family movie nights. I've given up so much, and I'm not catching this person. I give up.
Yep. That was it.
And who is this person that she has not been able to catch? It's our other lead, Kiyomoto. Talk to us about Kiyomoto.
So, I don't want to delve too deep because I thought at first, like, because Kiyomoto never attended the school. And that kind of confused me. I was like, oh my gosh, she's got some kind of terminal illness and this is going to be a horrible tragedy. I will give the spoiler, there is no terminal illness.
It's high levels of anxiety.
Incredible anxiety.
That actually get her out of having to go into the classroom, allowing her to do all of her classes from home.
Yep, anxiety is the word for it. There's really not much to say about it beyond that. That and her amazing, like, art talent, that's Kiyomoto right there. Anxious and art talented.
And when we're talking about art talented, we're not just talking about all of art as a whole. Her backgrounds are so
detailed.
Perfect, so detailed. And it's kind of funny because it's reflected in the movie itself.
Yep.
The detail in the backgrounds, like, if you've lived through any part of the creative industry at all in your life, it's like, this is the room. Yeah. This is the room of a creative person. The details in the background just scream it. It's almost as if Kiyomoto herself was drawing the backgrounds of this movie.
Absolutely.
It's just, that really kind of caught me and fascinated me. So it's one of those things. But again, she's a complete recluse, right?
Yeah.
Like,
she
doesn't come out. And finally, when you see on the inside of her house, the walls are lined with completed sketchbooks, just stacked one on top of each other. You can tell that however many hours Fujino put in, Kiyomoto just put in a little bit more, it seems, right?
I mean, it could have been a little bit more. It could have just been like, she wasn't in school, so... Oh no, we homeschool Autumn, and the amount of school time we have is much less. So I think she just had more opportunity just to do more and more and more because you finish your school and you're done. You're not sitting in school waiting for the next period when you're done. So I feel like she had more opportunity to keep drawing.
When we finally see this, it's around the same time that we see Fujino throwing away all of her notepads and everything. And we see all of that happening, and it just goes through, and time progresses, and we skip a little bit of time in there. And if you like what you're hearing so far, I definitely would make sure to watch this movie for yourself. We watched it on Amazon Prime, so take a look at it. So now we've introduced you to Fujino and Kiyomoto, but we haven't introduced them to each other in this movie yet. How does this happen, Sarah?
So Kiyomoto wasn't there to get her diploma. It's either like 6th grade or middle school. I'm not really sure which it is, but either way, there's a diploma involved. And one of the teachers asked Fujino, was like, hey, could you just run this over to her house? I don't know if that's a typical thing. I would have thought they would have mailed it, but, if someone's willing just to take it and hand deliver it, why not?
And Fujino's kind of like, why? And she's like, well, you guys had a connection of drawing the comics in the school newspaper. And it's like, oh, okay. Which probably means it is 6th grade because she stopped drawing halfway through the 6th grade year.
Yeah, that makes
I feel
sense.
like that would have been forgotten by 8th grade, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, so it's probably 6th grade diploma.
Okay. So either way, Fujino just kind of begrudgingly is like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Heads over to Kiyomoto's house, and she knocks on the door. No one's answering. And she knocks again, and no one's answering. And she does something that I don't know if this is like a cultural thing. She just goes in the house.
Yeah, right? Like
I wouldn't go in someone's house.
Takes the shoes off, because she feels like she hears someone in there. She sees all the art books lined up on the wall leading to the room, kind of like a little bit of a chasm almost, right?
Yes, definitely. But what she also sees is like a little 4-panel blank, like comic strip just sitting there. And she's like, I don't know what possessed this girl, but she picks it up and she starts drawing on it. And the comic is literally, you see what you believe is Kiyomoto's house, and you see a group saying, stay in, and you see another group saying, come out. And the last panel is a skeleton, like, on the ground.
Skeleton on her desk.
On the ground. Like,
the dark humor is serious with Fujino.
It was funny, but, like, somehow the wind blows it out of her hand. Very serendipitous moment. The wind blows it out of her hand and then slides it under the door. And Fujino's like, oh crap. And she books it. She's like, okay, here's your diploma, goodbye. And just runs.
But you know who books it faster?
Oh, you know who books it faster?
Kiyomoto.
Yeah.
Because apparently Kiyomoto is number one fangirl of
Number
Fujino.
one fangirl, absolutely.
She chases her down outside and she's like, are you Fujino? Like, did you draw for the school newspaper when you were up to halfway through your 6th grade year? And she's all super excited that she's meeting her, and Fujina's like, yeah. Like,
definitely giving her some
she's
side eye.
Will you sign this for me? Will you sign? Oh, I don't have anything to sign. Will you sign my jacket for me?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my, she's got it bad.
She does have it bad.
And then she asks her the one question, and she's like, why did you stop drawing?
I don't know what I would have done, like, in Kiyomoto's place if Fujino had been honest there. What was Fujino's answer?
Fujino's answer is that she stuttered a little and she's like, I'm drawing for a contest right now, so I couldn't do it for the school newspaper anymore. Like, it's a lie. The truth is she was intimidated. She was intimidated by Kiyomoto's work and she stopped. Because she realized at that point in time she couldn't just smash the dreams of somebody who idolized her.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason why Kiyomoto was into drawing was because of Fujino. Fujino's her hero, her idol. So it's an important lesson that even if you feel like, as creative types, we often get down on ourselves and it's like, this doesn't stack up to what this person's doing. Mm-hmm. But you never know how much of an opinion that person has about you.
Yeah.
You don't know whose life your art is touching. Mm-hmm. And when you do the whole thing of comparing yourself and thinking you're not good enough, you're sometimes taking away someone's joy. Like, we covered this when we did our Yuri on Ice episode, when Yuri was self-deprecating and when that younger one who was skating in the Tokyo ones, like, it's kind of like, it's like, don't put yourself down, because then you're putting down everyone that looks up to you.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, Fujino realizes, I need to get back into this, because Kiyomoto makes her realize how important her art was. Mm-hmm. So the two of them become friends, and they start working on their first manga together.
Working together.
So because Kiyomoto's so great with detailed backgrounds, such beautiful backgrounds.
They're a good match.
And Fujino's so great at storytelling with her characters, her character facial expressions, the character designs, because she spent all that time putting into learning the human skeleton. And the two of them become a perfect team, an unstoppable team that actually take the second in a major contest with each other. Yep. And as a result, ended up getting published in a magazine.
Yeah, which is pretty darn awesome for just being kids. Pretty darn awesome for anyone, actually.
Yeah, I don't know when that happens, but I think we're led to believe that it happens when they're junior high.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
It goes through, and they keep on getting published multiple times throughout their junior high and high school years. They actually are published 7 times by the age of 17 years old. You really know that it has blossomed into something beautiful and successful, and their friendship does too. Talk a little bit about their friendship.
Oh, it's fantastic. So first you just start seeing Kiyomoto, like, come over, and they're both drawing side by side. And I don't know about you guys listening, or I don't know about you, but when you're side by side with someone, you don't have to be doing the same exact thing to just be in each other's presence and enjoy each other's company. And that, like, actually kind of, like, really spoke to me. I was like, they're friends. They're good friends. They're just chilling and relaxing. They're doing their thing. And the friendship just continues to grow. And eventually, they win, like, a really big award for something or other. It's, like, a heck ton of money. And Fujino's like, listen, I'm taking you out in the town. We're going to go have fun.
Yeah.
And the amount of, like, stuff they do, they hit everything. They do everything. They eat everything. And you can tell Kiyomoto, despite her anxiety of, like, being out, she's having a good time. She's with the one person that she really just needs in her life as a friend. And it's so great watching that little montage that they do, because the music and everything. The music's perfect, by the way.
Talk about the music.
Oh, my gosh.
Like,
the music for this movie was absolutely brilliant. I loved it so much. Everything fits so nice.
This better win a soundtrack award.
It has to.
Like, it has
better.
to. Like, We're gonna say it won the soundtrack.
We're just gonna say it now.
We're just gonna say it.
We believe in you, soundtrack people for Look Back. But yeah, the whole date and
she pulls out 100,000 yen to have the great day, and they only spend like 5,000 because they're really just enjoying being out and about together and exploring the world.
Good amount, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how yen converts to USD, so you're gonna look this up really quick. They have the time of their life that day, and you're watching them as they're growing up through their middle school and high school years, and eventually, as they're graduating high school, they get hit with a wonderful offer from, I think we're led to believe that it's from Shonen Jump, but not actually. Like it's the big manga publisher for where they're from, and I feel like I saw some shonen stuff in the background.
Yeah,
but probably misspelled or something.
Yeah, intentionally.
I'm not 100% sure, but it's the biggest manga publisher, and they said, we want you guys to become one of our big titles.
Yep.
We're hiring you.
Yeah.
And Fujino is so excited.
Oh man,
but Kiyomoto, talk to us.
I'm sorry.
Fujino's reaction.
She was going crazy, and she was like, in her mind, this was done. They were locked in, and then
Kiyomoto's like, but I want to go to art school.
Yeah.
And that's where we're gonna stop.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's so much after this.
There is.
We're not going to tell you how this whole art school versus going into the industry resolves here, but that's not the only thing that's happening.
Oh man!
In the last 20 minutes of this film, and it's crazy because this isn't even an hour long.
Yeah.
They packed the lifetime of an artist into 40 minutes, and then gave us all the extra stuff in the last 20.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's worth watching for the first 40 minutes alone. And I'm going to leave it at that, right?
Yeah, no.
Anything you want to say about the movie as a whole, Sarah?
I mean, it was definitely worth the watch. The music score alone was amazing. Getting like that real life kind of overview of her artistic journey, of Fujino and Kiyomoto's artistic journey together was definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, no, the ending aside, the journey of the first 40 minutes of the film where it just illustrates the life of a creative type, the backgrounds, the score, the character personalities, the character development. So many great things to say about it, and honestly, it's a really good movie. I can appreciate it for what it is. So once again, we took a look at our two main characters, Fujino and Kiyomoto, and followed their artistic journeys. Then we dove into their relationship and the big break that they received together. I hope you had as much fun exploring the world of Look Back as we did, and consider watching this anime movie. And for those of you who are wondering, apparently 5,000 yen is only $33.78. So it goes to show you, right? So if you like what you heard today, make sure you listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you stream your podcast. Listen to all of our J-Mill for Real podcasts. And hit us up on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. Once again, this was Exploring Anime with Friends. Let's explore together. And now for a word from our sponsors. Binbuster. Live from YouTube, it's Tuesday night, the call sign of the Binbuster YouTube channel. Once you hear this, you know you're about to embark on a journey through pop culture, movies, comics, and more. Buckle up and enjoy the ride every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. EST. Poppin' Cinema with Joe Mama and friends. Showcasing the power of cinema, join Joe Mama as he introduces different friends each week to a movie they have not seen before, popping their cinematic cherry as they talk about the movie they just watched every Tuesday at midnight.